Do my actions echo the reality that God has made me worthy of my life, His love, and of good things? So when I sat down to journal about this and to answer the question, the first thing that I asked myself was, well, what has my walk in worthiness looked like? And it has looked like abandoning a toxic environment in my profession. It has looked like holding fast my faith that my words, my gifts will make room for me. It has looked like trusting that I hear God speaking to me. It has been in saying no to an abusive relationship. It has been in being willing to be in a single season, being willing to be in an unemployment season. It has looked like learning to set boundaries and honoring them boundaries and making other folks, putting it out there for other people that the expectation is that people honor those boundaries as well, or they don't get access to me. It has looked like growing out of the victim and the survivor and stepping into day by day leash and everything that she wants to be, the kind of woman that I want to be. It's been in being willing to be in the trenches, what I call it, with God, because He is refining me. That's what it has looked like to me to start to wear my worth. And that led to, well, how does that look like worthiness? And I mean that to say, like, wow, the Lord has convinced me that I'm worthy of my life, His love, and of good things. It doesn't necessarily translate into what the world would deem to be good. Those of us who want to be married, being in a single season doesn't always feel good. Those of us who want career and honestly, all of us need financial stability. And having to be in an unemployment season, it does not feel good. It does not look good. It just kind of hit me like one day, like what I would deem to be the proof that I am moving with a different mindset. Other people probably wouldn't look at it and say, hey, that's good. Even though there is so much spiritual gain, so much trust that I've been able to rebuild with myself. The next question that came up as I was trying to find the meaning in all of this was, why would anybody want this? And at first I kind of got discouraged. I was like looking at my life and what I lack and what I'm still wanting and what I had hoped that I would see by now. Just in full transparency, there are sides to this new journey that really challenged me and challenged my faith. And I was like, God, why would anybody want what this has cost me? When the gain that I see is not necessarily something that people look at and praise. If you got it, they praise it. But if it takes a journey to get to mental stability, if it takes a journey to get to a healthy relationship, if it takes a journey to get to the career that God called you to versus having a lot of money, that's not flashy to people. That don't look like goodness to people. It don't always feel like goodness to me. And asking the question really like slowed me down, made me wonder like, what am I doing? What am I saying? And then the question of, where is God? And I'd be doggone if He didn't show up like He always does. Even as I was trying to avoid Him, but even as I was like taking a break from all the thoughts, He consistently threw things my way and reminded me, one, through Jackie up here, and I love her, y'all know I do, that the enemy is coming to shake our faith, not just our mental health, not just our relationships, not just our finances. He doesn't want us to believe. He wants us to drop the shield of faith. If we don't have the shield of faith, then we're lost. And so I could recognize that. But also, I thought about what God defines to be goodness. And this is a developing thought, even as I share it with y'all now. What is goodness to Him? What is measured as good by Him? And when I think about what I have gained in terms of aligning myself with His word and with the truth, I don't see anything that is more good than that. Despite whatever the world has to say about what is good, I feel and I believe that I am more of the woman that He called me to be, having borne my whips and bruises, having suffered through and taken up my cross. I feel like I am more of that woman who can stand through anything on the word of truth and with the Lord's hand covering my hand than I would ever have been had I just taken the easy yes. The yes that made sense, the yes that was in front of my face, the yes that I would have given had my faith not increased. So then that left me with another question. How am I speaking about my season? In truth, people might on the outside looking in say, I don't want this, and this whenever it comes and when you look at my life and when it comes to my life. But how are you labeling it? Maybe you don't want to be single, but do you want to be abused? Maybe you don't want to be without wealth, but do you want to be abused? Do you want to be cut off from your dream? Do you want to be separated from the goal, the path that you know that you have been called to, so that you can keep money that you don't get to spend? Or do you want to be in a career that keeps you separated from even knowing who goodness himself is, who love is, who God is? Do you want to be in this life and not have the safety, the covering of the King, the relationship, the connection to the dwelling place? If we're going to talk about goodness, we can't talk about it without God, because he is all good. He is goodness. He is the epitome of goodness. What is actually good? So it challenged me to think about how I am speaking and even showing up from a day to day. And I ain't saying that you can't ever have a minute to be like, "Ooh, this is heavy. This is not a good day. I don't feel good today." Sometimes I do have those days, but it definitely checked me in how I move as a believer. I'm not going to be a liar. No. Some days I'm not going to feel like it. And those days are days that are worth being told about, just as well as days like this where I decide to rejoin the fight. But people do buy into what looks good to them. So if this is goodness, and it has been good for me, I need to be making sure that just as well as I raise up the question, and I'm vulnerable and honest in saying sometimes I look around in my life and I say, "God, where are you?" I need an honest answer that his response is, "I never left you." His response has been, "I've always been right here. I'm still fighting for you. I'm refining you. I'm allowing the suffering, but I'm not leaving you to suffer alone." It's two sides to it. You got to cover all the bases. If you're going to talk about it, talk about it. And that's where I'm at today. Next journal prompt coming soon.